as usual by Dave and George. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello there.
Good evening.
Are you ready to talk some wars this evening?
What wars we like to talk about? They're going to be basically wars of shelves and space and finances to put things.
Wars of the wallet, I think it's going to be more like it's what we can and can't afford and what we can and can't make space for.
And what we should and shouldn't buy.
Yeah, what we should and shouldn't buy and what we will actually end up buying is more the case. Which usually is like I said I wasn't going to buy this, but yeah, it's here. Usually get a message from one of these two at some point, or even me going, yeah, it's kind of here. I don't have the space for it, but it's here. But enough about that. We're going to talk about Force Friday, the Triple Force Friday, later on the show. We're going to start off with the news now. This is kind of old news, but not old news in a way. Bob Iger has come out and said that Lucas didn't hide his disappointment with The Force Awakens, like not following his outlines and not using new visual technologies. I've seen enough of this over the last few days, seen enough hate over the years for the sequels. I'm pretty sick and tired of talking about it. Opinions, guys.
I didn't know Bob Iger was doing a book for a start, so that's going to be a very interesting read. I'm expecting like day 5 of Diary, November 3rd. Got bored, bought Lucasfilm. I'm expecting that. December 21st, bought 20th Century Fox. January 1st, debated buying Twitter. If I would pay just to read that. No, it's. I think that it's brought some unnecessary attention to an old story. My issue is that obviously this is Bob Iger saying it, him saying on the clickbait term, George Lucas is angry with Disney. He's so angry that he turned up to the opening Galaxy's Edge. This is a 2015 drama that's been brought back into the limelight. Again, books do this. This is the downside of books. They need to be able to sell it. How better way to sell it than George Lucas falling out of Disney?
I just think you're right. It is old news that we've heard before. And it's very much like George Lucas dislikes films that he didn't make. Well, I could do that story about me and lots of films I've seen too. Dave, so this film did not like. It is that exact thing. They're looking for clickbait. They are looking for this news to be out because Iger wants his book out there and to have these
not like he needs any more
revelations.
Money,
though, no, it doesn't need it, but it just feels that they're putting it out there, and it's going back to this story that George put out. We know that George didn't really like The Force Awakens. We know he wasn't overly happy with the direction. And there's a bit more to this story that they brought out that he didn't. The fact that it wasn't new technology used and more new locations and things like that.
Better for it. It's like I've argued ever since the start of the sequel era is the fact they went back to models and actual sets and more props. It looks better for it.
It does. Yeah, I think they were trying to go back to that look of the original trilogy, and George was very much about, and probably is still very much about, if he made another movie, moving technology forward. We know that was what appealed to him. And yeah, that's maybe not what he would have done with his Star Wars. I know it came out with the story that he'd sold the outlines, 3 outlines for movies, and they aren't used. Looks like there's none of that story being covered. And apparently that was more of a major annoyance that he thought would cover his stories. But you know what? That I don't really kind of think George Lucas sold the company. He sold those story points in there. They weren't used. To be honest, it's not his baby anymore, really, as much as he is the creator, and we will forever be grateful for that. I just feel that myself, that he sold that property to another company in its completion, and if they choose not now to use anything by him,
that's their prerogative.
Call.
I feel with this is that they didn't do his entire story from 789. Now, if you read into what is rumored and stuff you can find very much online, not to sit. I mean, I love the prequels, but not to sit here and berate them. There were reports out there saying they're going to delve into midi-chlorians. Some of the story ideas were very much, this is George Lucas from 1999 to 2005. However, some of the really good stuff in there, Disney used. Yeah. George's Episode 7, Luke training up a young new Jedi, that was Episode 8. So I don't think they've ignored it. And Pablo Hidalgo's always said, someone tweeted him once saying, would you ever release George's treatments as books or comics or whatever? Pablo put, I'd love to be able to share that information, but not for a very long time. Obviously not before Episode 9.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
No, it's something that'll be done maybe. I'd like to see it done maybe for the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. So maybe in 2027 you get it'll be a kind of a celebration of the sequel era, but also would be this is what we could have had in a way of like you already always at the moment you've got the Star Wars, which they've released as a comic, which is the original draft for Star Wars as it's in comic form. I'm missing a couple of parts because I like getting it in the single issues, but I have read the complete version. It is fantastic, and of course they've pulled a lot of stuff from that for Rebels, and they've pulled a lot of stuff out from that for other bits and pieces, especially the artwork. Chewie turned into Zeb. There's so many bits and pieces they pulled from it, and as you said, George, there's bits they've pulled from the 7, 8, and 9 treatments that are now in the sequels themselves. So yes, he sold the rights, he sold the property, he sold everything to Disney. It's for Disney to do as they wish. They didn't have to use anything; they could use everything. That's their prerogative. I'm just sick and tired of talking about Lucas hating on it and things like that, because like it's done. It's in the past. He's been involved more so over the last couple of years with Star Wars, especially it comes down to being on the set of Rogue One and The Mandalorian and other bits and pieces. He's being brought back into the fold in a nice way as well, especially look at Celebration a couple of years ago. I mean, it's enough of the past. I love the hate. I've seen so much hate online recently. I get sick and tired of reading it, and I get myself out of groups, other bits and pieces where I go, you know what, I'm done with all the negativity.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is that, Force Awakens came out 4 years ago now. This happened 4 years ago, probably before that, when he probably was allowed to read the script or see an early cut.
Yeah.
They're fine now. Like exactly what Phil said, he's been Celebration. He's very much in with Disney. They respect him. He does like them. He always wanted to sell it to Disney. That was, if you read, if anyone's ever read, I forgot the name of the book. It's basically an autobiography of Star Wars itself. Apologies, I've forgotten the name of that. It's a really good read, but it mentions that Lucas went to Disney originally with the concept of Star Wars. They declined him. That was always who he wanted to go to. Anyone knows he was at Disneyland when it opened back in whenever the 1950s or 60s, I can't remember. But anyway, there's a long history there, and I think again this has come up. Again, Bob Iger needs to do a book, and the thing is, he might have even been misquoted. Like, I don't think he's the kind of guy that would dodge a tough question either. He seems quite hands-on. He seems like he's the kind of guy that gets stuff done. If you can't tell that by knowing he's a CEO of Disney, you can sure tell it when you see him in them like sort of open collar shirts where he looks like he's like Vince McMahon as if he'll rip your face off. He looks like that.
Indeed. Of course, moving on to our next bit of news again. We've had this news. I remember actually talking about this bit of news on the show before, saying Bob Iger saying the original Star Wars plans were too much too fast, and then Rupert Murdoch was furious that Disney bought Lucasfilms. He didn't think to do it. We've had that first bit of it we've had before. I remember talking about this bit of news at the time, and applauding Bob Iger for saying and owning up to the mistake of doing too much too fast with all both the anthology films and the standalone films and the sequels at the same time. And of course, now they're taking a step back with the films, but allowing the TV shows to kind of be pumped out. It helps there.
It's the more interesting of this is not to get into sort of current day politics, but this is an absolute win over Rupert Murdoch. I got a bit of a kick off of not the kick off the article, but I could just picture this, him waking up being like, "What? They've bought Lucasfilm when the 20th Century Fox logo is the thing on everything." A couple of weeks later, Bob Iger, "I'd like to buy 20th Century Fox." I mean, that was just Bob Iger one-upping someone. It's he said before he took the blame for Solo. He said that himself. Again, this is me saying too much too fast. I respect him for coming out and saying that rather than doing a DC disappearing behind sort of Warner Brothers executive gets sacked, or the next one comes in, oh, he's been sacked. Next one comes in, oh, he's been sacked. Rather than just switching through blame game, it's literally, hey, it's my fault. We've moved on. There we go. And that's the right way of doing it rather than just keeping it quiet too and letting it build.
Yeah, I think we said ourselves when we were talking about The Last Jedi, when we were doing all our preview shows, the fact that Solo was going to be coming out in the May of that year or April of that year came out. May. So we literally had 3 to 4 months after the closure, and then after all the controversy that surrounded the film and the reception of that film, it definitely, we said many times that it felt like it was too quick and it should have been moved back to the December. But I'm glad they came out. They said what they said, and it's again, seems to be today's news is old news, but new news.
Yeah,
I do want to read his book. I reckon it'd be a real good read. Like,
there'd be some
I'm
really
expecting
interesting
like
stuff.
Goodfellas sort of thing. Like, as when I was a kid, I just wanted to be a CEO, and it's just him like rising through the ranks and buying Star Wars at the end.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, again, we spoke about this last year, though. The only good point coming out about Solo being released in May is we've had a year and a half by the time we get to The Rise of Skywalker without a Star Wars film, so there's some hype building there. We're going to talk about a bit of sad news now. Well, sad for us personally here in the UK. You can now sign up to pre-order Disney Plus in the USA. But not here. And I'm sure, like the guys, I got the Star Wars widget on my phone. Of course, I got notifications that you can now pre-order Disney Plus. I'm like, that's great, but I can't.
No, and I even I found a bear that tunneled through places and tried to even had a look at. Look, I had a look with a VPN to see if you could sign up that way and do it, and it stopped that. You can't even do it with that. The site does not load.
What VPN did you use?
Tunnel Bear. Tunnel Bear is my VPN of choice.
I'm going to be trying ExpressVPN because that's what everyone uses for American sports. This is purely legal, by the way, folks. VPNs are legal. Do your research. We can talk about it.
We can
absolutely
them. We're not, but
yeah. The one I use would not. When you go to the site to try and put your details into, you just get a flashing icon. It doesn't change at all. I thought it was just maybe slow and loading because lots of people are on it. Like I left it like half an hour, nothing changed. It's just a flashing thing. So I'm guessing they're doing some way of blocking a VPN from getting there. I don't know that for certain, but certainly I could not get access with the one I had.
Can we talk about how we are pre-ordering a service? Like, I was when it came up, like you can pre-order this, I was like, what? Like, can you not just like sign up on the day like a normal person? Like, when I think of pre-order, it's like a game. I'm expecting, I want to. Obviously, you're gonna get it on release day. The game might sell out. An online service can't. It's not like only 100
the
people.
pre-order gives you like a day or two early access.
But... No. So everywhere's getting apparently a week free trial, which a week's generous because by the time it's out in England, a week's going to be like 3/4 of Disney's content on there.
Yeah,
but it's going to be very interesting. And again, we moan, we wait. Where is our release dates? They rhyme.
Yeah, I'd love to know when it's coming out. It is very much something I want to get a hold of. You're right. Unfortunately, for people in the UK, myself, I know once it hits and Mandalorian is out there, first episode, I will see that first episode. It's on day of launch, November 12th. Mandalorian is going to be on there. I know I will see Mandalorian on November 12th without any shadow of a doubt. And unfortunately, if I have to do that by ways that aren't the way Disney would like me to say it, don't get me wrong. Day Disney Plus is available in the UK. I will be purchasing that and ditching my Netflix. So I will have it. But yeah, I'm not going to hang around and wait for my Mandalorian. I want it.
I hope.
No, we run a Star Wars show. We need to review the Mandalorian. We can't have everyone else review it and us go, we're gonna have to wait, guys. We'll find a way.
I hope that Disney are aware that outside of America, everything's going to be pirated for the. I'm sure they're aware. It's like Game of Thrones. That I think is the obvious comparison. I think the guy that plays Jaime Lannister, I always forget the actor's name, Nikolai Coster-Walding or something. He was in an interview that said, "Oh, are you aware that Game of Thrones is like the most pirated show in the world?" He's like, "Oh, we're all aware." He's like, "We live on set." He goes, "It's as big as winning an Emmy." This was like 5 years ago. He said this, and you know what? It's true, isn't it? That obviously piracy is bad. I disagree with the concept of it, especially film. When it comes down to TV with weird overseas broadcasting, like Disney Plus has done, why are they going to wait till 9 p.m. in the evening after Game of Thrones has been spoiled by everyone on Twitter? And they took it in their pride, and there is obviously, of course, piracy is bad. Again, especially film, but with telly, to me, there's just something about TV where I just couldn't care less about finding my way watching something. I don't want adverts. I just want to be able to put it on, and I'm hoping that Disney Plus, obviously Netflix, there's no adverts. I've noticed on Amazon Prime, every bit of content starts with like a 30-second Amazon Prime trailer, which just no one needs, no one wants. Just let's watch the content. I'm wondering if Disney, I'm sure they won't need to advertise themselves.
No. I think there would be a bit of a backlash if they did. I think it'd be more like Netflix in terms of just the
Disney Plus logo film starts.
Yeah. And then moving on for something that makes us sad, something we kind of all had a look at this week, is the new First Order poster we have inside the Star Wars Insider cover. Dave, have you got that image for us?
Have I got an image for you? Of course I've got an image for you.
Excellent. Here we go. I put this in the chat. Now, we now know a bit more about this than we did earlier, purely because we now have the name of Kylo Ren's TIE silencer, which we'll talk about.
So no, not the silencer.
It's the careless whisper.
Sorry. All right. To put in perspective, there in the old EU and in Star Wars X, we play as a ship called the TIE Silencer that the pilot that most people use is called Whisper. So in my head, I've got it's the Whisper. No, it's not Whisper. It's the TIE Silencer. Anyway, so yes, this is the
Whisper.
The Whisper. Yep. And of course, so for those of you who are watching the audio version, you can find this image on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page. It is pretty damn wicked. You've got the new Jet Trooper on it. You've got the Knights of Ren. You've got the TIE Dagger, the TIE Whisper, Ren with his new kind of put back together helmet after he smashed the thing. And it's just a really cool image.
It is really nice, and there is a second half to this. If you are watching live now, you can see the image, or see it. You can see that Rey's lightsaber is just coming into the top of the image, crossing over with Kylo Ren's. There is a light side image that has been released, but only about three-quarters of a square of it.
I want this as like a poster, like this on a wall. This to promote the film. Don't get me wrong. I love Rey, Finn, Poe, Lando, all of them. That poster would be good enough to see at a cinema everywhere. It makes me very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, the other side, the light side, the bit they've released, which I say is not the whole thing, because I'm guessing it's very spoilery. Probably outside of that, there's only a little bit of it shown. It's not a great poster by itself, so I'm waiting to see the whole thing. But yeah, that picture is an awesome poster. I absolutely adore it.
It is indeed. I mean, I might buy Latest Inside just to get my hands on it to put in a nice frame. It is that nice. It is genuinely beautiful.
Is it as beautiful as this photo here of a smart car with Adam Driver driving it? Adam Driver drives the car. Oh wow! Can you imagine being a Vauxhall Adam? Adam Driver drives an Adam. Tongue twisters.
That's messy.
There we go.
That's pretty
there
messy.
we go.
Next bit of news we'll move on to is Anthony Daniels. He's now recording the audiobook of I Am C-3PO. I may get this, I may not. I've had enough of Anthony Daniels over the years, enough panels to know about his life story.
I feel like you're going to open the book and chapter 1 is going to be the same monologue. He says everywhere, "Oh, I went to the casting room and I looked inside of his eyes.
Oh, that'll be in there for sure.
That's like that's everything. Like there's never been an event where that isn't said, and I fully expect that to be the first bloody page. And yeah, there we go. There's the book. I'm C-3PO.
We know that Anthony Daniels is a lover of his own voice. It's quite out there and known. That's not a secret to hide. I would be quite interested to read the book. I think there's a lot of things that I wonder if will be covered. I think obviously we know his relationship with Kenny Baker was very stretched and strained. So I wonder if any of that is going to make into the book, or if it's all going to be happy stories around the filming of Star Wars. I am interested to read it. I don't think I could listen to the audiobook.
No. No, not at all. I would be very intrigued to read it. I think I like autobiographies. I prefer autobiographies to novels. I always have, especially there aren't enough sort of not Star Wars ones, but you've got a lot of Carrie Fisher's books. You've got sort of biographies, but not autobiographies of a lot of, I wouldn't even say cast members, the franchise and Lucas and all of these. You get some real good ones. But this is the first sort of outright autobiography. I mean, even Carrie Fisher's books, they're all about her life and whatnot, but they're always sort of specifically on different stages, which made it so much more interesting because each one had its own theme. Obviously, Princess Diaries was more about filming episode 4 and then her life, sort of what Star Wars did with that. Obviously, some of her other ones was about obviously some of the sort of personal issues she had at home, obviously being very open and honest about them. So it makes it interesting because I don't think there's going to be a shock value. This is going to be as much as I do like him and respect him, and if he did want to go all in and start slaying, then that's going to be great reading. But I feel like this is going to be his sort of panel from every convention he's done.
Yeah,
like here's a 400-page panel, and like the audio book. Oh my word! Anyone that can sit for audio is doing a very good thing. Fair play if they're going to sit through it. But you know, how much can you hear of him?
But you can't. I can't heckle him though. If I listen to the audio, but there's something there for me to heckle. At least when I saw him at Celebration, I could heckle him. There is a video of this. Go back and watch it, people. 2016 Star Wars Celebration of the Anti-Daniels panel. I do heckle him, and David sat right beside me, and it's one of the funniest things we've ever done. Oh, that was such an experience. But yes, I don't quite think I could sit through 400 pages of Anthony Daniels. Well, this thing was anyway. Next we'll move on to is the Blu Ray re-release, which is now on sale in the USA. That doesn't need to be done.
Oh, I hate this. I'm ready for this. I've been waiting. Nobody liked these covers. They've been released because on Disney Plus, these are now the covers on Disney Plus. You open that glorious app and you get greeted by this filthy artwork. For eternity.
Now,
there's going to be
I do kind of like the Solo one. That's it.
Right. On a personal viewpoint, Solo looks fine. Revenge of the Sith looks okay. There is no need for the bloody metallic Death Star. I just don't like any of these. I don't like Episode 8 was great until you see like Mark Hamill's very weird face at the top. What happened to the promotional material they had anyway? That's basically the original poster, but let's just zoom in on Luke a little bit more. I really don't like these. I get the continuity angle, but you know, if you're a randomer, if this just pops up, do you really want to be encouraged to watch this based off this thumbnail? I hate Netflix when they automatically play trailers when you're just like scrolling down. But you know what? If it means I don't have to see the bloody Star Wars posters, then get them trailers on.
The only one I have a real problem with is New Hope, which I absolutely don't. The purple I don't get why it's purple. I don't know why. Obviously, blue is obviously the obvious color for New Hope, and I do not get this. It looks awful. I get what you mean by some of the pictures.
Wait, where's Empire?
Right, I don't like 4. I don't like 5. I don't like 6. I don't
have
like.
Have I gone blind? Sorry.
No, it's only the thumbnail that I have got up. Sorry, I put a picture up on there for those who are listening. It's only a select ones of the actual covers.
Sorry, I don't like 4. Don't like 6. Don't like 7. Don't like 8. Don't like 3. Don't like 2. Don't like 1. I like Solo and Rogue One.
That's it.
And that's about it.
Yeah, it just they are. You know, after building like it's weird. I started doing like the thumbnails for the channel that I've been building to get all our thumbnails looking exactly the same. So we've got a lovely fluid look through all of that.
Dave, now do this.
And I look at these. It looks like I'm going to redo them. It looks like bad. Someone's had too much time with Photoshop, and a few images that they've got to pull together, and they've been told make them kind of match with a color scheme. And
there's got to be a vehicle sticking out in every single one.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a large lightsaber foreshadowing everything.
Yeah.
I just don't think they work.
What irks me, I mean, really, really irks me for a really weird part of it is the fact that in 8 and in 2, you have the red lightsabers with the rest of the color being the color. Everything else, no, it's just the color. So in 3, both of them are red. Like even in your new continuity, you have no new continuity. It just makes zero sense. Just stop it. You have decent artwork. You have just no. Stop it. Bad
At the end of the day, hopefully they're a stopgap. They're going to come out in the States. I don't know whether we'll get them here. There's been no mention of the Blu-ray release over here. I'm guessing our next big release will be after 9, when we start getting word of whether we're getting a full Skywalker.
We'll get 9, and then about a few months later, we'll get the complete Skywalker saga
on 4K. And they better not be them covers. I will be rioting. It's like the Steelbooks. When they announced the Steelbooks, everyone was like, "Oh my word, the artwork is disgusting. Why not use the beautiful posters?" And then they put the beautiful posters on the back.
Yeah.
So, like, if you really want to, you could just turn them around. But you know, I'm very intrigued for the 1 to 9 bundle. Should be with Solo and Rogue One.
No, it won't be. It'll be the Skywalker saga.
I'm expecting some glorious. I've never seen Game of Thrones. The complete box set of all 8 seasons is £300. It's a horrible special edition where you can only buy it on Blu-ray if you buy the £300 version. It's in like a proper, it's in a real wooden box, and each season's got like its own like not artwork, but it's all this like it's a proper box set. It's not here's like 8 DVD discs chucked in the box in like single sleeves. This is a box set. I want something like that with Star Wars. Go all out. I loved what they did with the 1 to 6 with the little little thing on the top and the blue and white. Again, it was quite easy to do, but I really hope Disney go all out for this, and I hope they just don't take the mick doing it too.
Yeah.
I can unfortunately see it. And then the last bit we have is the trainers. George, you've brought this one up, so I'll let you kind of delve into this one.
Yeah, so I saw on the news that ADIDAS have signed a new deal with Lucasfilm to do a load of Episode 9 merchandise, and this struck me off guard because since I don't want to say Disney takeover, but Pozu are the Star Wars shoe empire now. Anything and everything's been through Pozu. They did a Vans range that got dropped. Pozu was put forwards, and they're bringing back Adidas. And on the press statement, they basically said that Adidas has like a very rich history of the Star Wars franchise. To finish the Star Wars saga, we wanted to essentially do like one last what they called collaboration with one another. So they released a picture of some trainers which look awful. They look like sort of the kid that would get bullied at secondary school be wearing. Yeah. But they've said there's going to be a lot more being revealed soon. So I'm really hoping there's some really good stuff because there is potential. And I remember a couple of years ago, Adidas did quite a decent amount of style change. And at the time I was younger, I didn't have a job, I couldn't buy anything because I was like 10, 11. But seeing in the future what some of that was, I'm really excited for this.
I had the original Adidas line. I had a couple of the shoes. The Stormtroopers, the plain white shoe was a beautiful shoe, and it was really nice. I had bought a couple of those and had them, and I wore them for a couple of years out. So I bought about 3 sets and went through them. So I really liked the original one. Not some of them are really awful designs, really, really ugly shoes. But when they do just a nice plain white shoe, great for me. But yeah, I'll wait to see what comes. That X-wing little one there is an ugly shoe.
I don't know why people would buy it. I want to do a collaboration with the Jordans, please. That's all I want.
Yeah, and then you're paying £500 per single shoe, not even for the pair. Anyway, moving on from expensive things we won't buy to expensive things we will try not to buy, but will ultimately fail. We're going to move on to the Triple Force Friday. We've had plenty of leaks since our last show. In fact, actually, if you go back to our previous video on the channel, which is our favorite Black Series figures, our list video from Sunday, we did kind of precursor this and mention it. So, yes, Triple Force Friday. It's next Friday, the 4th of October. And we've had a bunch of releases, and we're going to have the live stream reviewing everything from tomorrow, which is the 26th of September from 7 p.m. Apparently from Pinewood Studios, but from what we've seen so far with the trailer, it's all pre-recorded. There's going to be a lot coming up for this.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say about the global stream. So yeah, as you're saying, it looks like it's all pre-recorded, but yeah, we'll have to sit down and watch that. I guess it's just going to be them saying what's going to be coming out, and I'm guessing it won't be everything. It'll be a couple of pieces from each thing, like probably a Black Series shown to each of them and things like that. So yeah, let's see what that brings. But yeah, there's been so much come out. Sorry, George, I completely cut you off, sir.
No, same here. I was going to say the same thing, and I know that what I wanted to touch upon was I remember they did this for Force Awakens. They did it on Force Friday. It was like, oh, everything's on sale. Here is what is on sale right now. Last Jedi, I swear, was like a day or two before. Was like, here's what's going on sale tomorrow.
The day before.
And this one's like, here is your week's prep. Get your wallets at the ready.
Yeah.
If you haven't already seen everything online or on yakface.com, this is the video for you.
And Yakface will be coming up, as I've borrowed some images from Yakface. If you haven't seen yakface.com, get over there. They do get pretty much, if there's something out there, Yakface will have it on there for you to see on their website. They are really good. Their Instagram page is an excellent resource for seeing what's coming.
Yakface is like, literally, I sat there on my work yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm just going to do a little bit of research into some merchandise that I might want to buy, and I went on Yakface. Like, oh my word, look how much has leaked already. I was shocked. I'd seen like one thing on Facebook, and Yakface is like 3 pages of news. But
it was the fact that we just finished our live stream last week, and then immediately through like, oh, leaks already, guys. Here's what we've got.
We always know it. Like, I mean, we kept saying it's a joke in the last sort of month or two that, oh yeah, it's like all the news is quiet now, but those Force Friday leaks will come. And they have been, and you know what? Again, I'll keep saying this. I still cannot believe the last 2 Force Fridays are in September. Obviously, Force Awakens was fine, but when you think about Last Jedi, like, you know, obviously everyone admitted defeat with that, Hasbro especially, Toys R Us the worst. October's perfect because the collectors have a month now, and then the parents and everyone that wants to buy stuff for Christmas can have it in a month when the restocks happen. So it's very interesting to see how it's going to come over the next month. And I know I'm about to maybe jump the gun and say that I know that they've announced there's going to be in this stream a new trailer for the Fallen Order trailer. What I do want to say with this is that you're kind of forgetting Fallen Order's even coming out because everyone's talking about 9 and Mandalorian. Like, Fallen Order is so under the radar, whereas 2 years ago, everyone's like, oh my word, Battlefront 2, then Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And
It's
we did get... Sorry, Phil. Just saying, so yeah, we did get a very, very short clip of what we're getting in the trailer for Jedi Fallen Order tomorrow. And yeah, it started off with a shot of a cape and a red lightsaber glowing and then being shot at and then finished. So it was literally a couple of seconds. And then online kind of blew up with this figure. Who is it? And as you can see this now on the live stream, we've got titled Vader. And we are probably 2-1 for thinking this is Vader. I am in the case that it is not Vader, and I think it's just going to be one of the Inquisitors. But yeah, you guys seem to believe this to be Vader, so
look at the hill, looking at the boots, look at the cape. It's just the music, especially the music, is a dead giveaway.
I mean, I've always thought he'll be in this game, and I said it from the very beginning. I hope this game ends with him dying. Thank you for being a new character, but we need Jedi to stop surviving Order 66.
Yeah.
Please confirm the kill Vader. At least, I'm very excited for the game. Obviously, I'm sold on that. I've paid for my pre-order. Everything's ready to go. I just need that delivery on November time. But yeah, I know we're talking Force Friday, but is anyone here a priority going to buy a bit of merch for Fallen Order over Mandalorian, over 9?
Maybe Cal from the Black series, because I quite like the figure. But...
Over the Mandalorian?
Oh no, Mando! Come on.
that's the thing, and it makes sense, putting it on sale with these. But personally, I would have waited. I know they want the Triple Force Friday thing, but I think this would have been smart to have released it with the game. I remember they did that for Battlefront. They did the Island Versio figures at the same weekend. That could have played to its strengths, I think, a little bit more.
And speaking of the Black Series figures, let's have a look at what is coming with some of these. And this might bring out a very famous rant of Ones with the Force, as we do like to do every now and again. What we're looking at is this is now Black Series White Box First Day Edition figures.
Ooh, all the shinies. Let's just bring them up. Ooh.
It looks quite spectacular. The thing is, I know we're going to get into the rant, and I'm going to jump in first. One of the reasons I stopped collecting Black Series was the horrific boxes. The old boxes were great. I did not like the red background, the black. Now I saw this baby, and we've got Kylo Ren on the screen. Let's leave this legend on. This is without a doubt the best figure of them all, because look at that artwork at the bottom right. That is the story. That is it. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. The front of the box has it in the right order. It's a white box. It just looks godly in that sense of it's right in your face. This is Black Series. You've seen the same artwork now for 4 years. Why hasn't it changed? Almost next to nothing changed, and I think that's affected it as a collector's thing, that there's no variation. There's them awful numbers on the side.
They aren't very pretty. When you collect them, if you don't have these out of the box and have no way of really storing them where you can get them front forward, I have a shelf with Black Series in that is literally a red side of things with lots of numbers on there. You can't tell what's in there at all.
Whereas mine are out of the box on display. Now, this does bring about a funny argument when it comes down to in-box versus out-of-box collectors. These are the first edition wave is one I would want to get and keep in the box. Problem is, if you go back to the Mandalorian, if you want the Mandalorian, you have to buy him 4 times to get him in. If you want him in box and out of box, especially with this new first edition version, and it's just a little bit too much. It's just there are we've got 7 or 8 in this first edition wave.
this is, I mean, if you think about it, right, the Sith Trooper had what? The San Diego exclusive. It's getting a first day edition. It's getting a normal box. Then they did another retail version last month. And, I mean, looking at the screen, Mandalorian, that is fine. The carbonized pack, it works what the Mandalorian is, Bounty Hunters, gold color scheme. I respect something like that. But it comes down to the whole Funko, how many exclusive porgs can you do for one film?
Well, the problem is with this, though, it's not even anything different with the figure. It's literally changing the box. At least with the porgs in the Funko style, you had the chase variant, we had the open mouth version, the normal version, the flock version. That's 3 different actual versions physically of.
It was still the same thing.
It was still the same thing, but at least it was like actually physically slightly different.
I can't take that. It was.
This is just exactly the same thing.
Went from this to this. That was 4 exclusives.
It's crazy when they look at these things, and don't get me wrong, the white boxes on these figures do look incredible. I think if they were going to go forward, I would have moved this to be the main box art cover and stick with that for a while. Move from the black, go to the white.
Yeah.
It looks stunning. It's a much better aesthetic for me.
Crisp. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful. The artwork on there. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he has an Instagram account as well, and he puts up all the artwork. If you look at our thumbnail today, I've got the Sith Trooper on there, and that's from his Instagram page that he put up because he does all the artwork for them. And they are absolutely beautiful. And I just think this is a much better look for them. But yeah, I do agree that if you wanted the Mandalorian and you were a completist, I'm not. I want 2. I do want to have 1 open. I think I'd look great, and probably 1 sealed. So I will get the white box, hopefully Mandalorian, and then just as when he comes out in a regular black box to take out. But I do feel that bringing out the carbonized version is just 1 edition, maybe too many for me.
Necessary. It's just at that point. Let's say you buy 3, buy 1 normal, 1 first edition, 1 carbonite. That's 90 quid.
Yeah,
I'm not paying 90 quid for this for the same thing 3 times over. There's literally no difference. Now, the first edition of the Sith Trooper may come with the accessories from the conversion. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. I haven't seen the conversion.
Now, how many? This is. I mean, I know I'm kind of jumping the gun in the Black Series. Now we talk about having them out of box. I am still yet to make the jump to Hot Toys. I have had so many discussions. It's an annual discussion, isn't it, guys? Yeah. I always say this one is going to be the one.
Pre-order as well.
Yeah,
that's
I've
how
had
you
2 pre-ordered, and I've never followed through. I was like, Luke is the one, Anakin is the one, Kenobi is the one. I'm edging now as not.
Kenobi should have been the one.
No, the one is going to be this one.
Episode 9, Kylo Ren. Yeah.
I am thinking this is going to be the first time because to be fair to Hot Toys, they seem to be the only brand that don't have their sets leak, and they normally get spoiler sets within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I am very, very interested to see how it goes on. I'm in a situation now where I'm not downsizing my cabinet or anything, but compared to me of 2 years ago, I'm not going to go out Force Friday, buy 30 pops, 3 Legos, 2 Black Series, 8 3.75-inch figures. So this day, I look back at myself and think, wow, it was worth it, but no, it wasn't. The whole day was worth it. That was such a fun day. I had to drag my sister around with me, and obviously it looked like she was like a guardian or some like nutcase child who was just buying everything he saw. We went to like 5 different shops to complete all the pops. Now, next Friday, I said originally, I'm in London on the Thursday, I'm in London the Friday night. I'm going to miss Force Friday. This is because of London Film Festival. I am not going next Thursday now because, wow, here's a bit of story for you guys, which is people want to hear. So there's a premiere for a film called The King, which is starring Rob Pattinson, Timothée Chalamet. Boring, yes, I know. However, Ben Mendelsohn is in that film. They announced him going at the premiere, so I got the day off work to add on to the festival. So I was going to go buzzing. Then they sent me via press the updated press list, and they took Ben Mendelsohn's name off it. And I was literally sat there like, I'm going back to work that day. I'm not going to premiere not to see Ben Mendelsohn, and I will have Force Friday off to make up for it. And then yesterday they re-announced that he was going. But my mind and wallet are set on Force Friday now. I'm going to have a day out in Birmingham in England because nowhere near me is going to do any midnight. Toys R Us is gone. I think there's literally only Birmingham that are going to sell things.
Yep,
The issue,
Birmingham.
the issue with Force Friday as a whole. Now, this is more England than America. It's definitely not as big over here. The concept of midnight shops, and I know that Forbidden Planet's doing midnight. I know Disney Store's doing midnight in London, but none of them.
Dave and I did that for the Last Jedi a couple of years ago.
That was when I was meant to go but couldn't make it, which I still feel guilty about. And that was honestly, that was a disappointing day. Not the evening I wasn't with you guys, but the mid compared to what they did for episode 7 midnight. Like one of my friends was at the Disney Store when episode 7 Force Friday came out, and she met Daisy Ridley and John Boyega. And at the time, obviously, the episode was out. They were names, but they weren't like the names they are now. But you ain't even going to get that anymore. I mean, if Adam Driver's in London next Saturday and Sunday, if he pops up to midnight at Disneyland, at Disney in London, I would pay someone $10,000 because that ain't happening.
It would be amazing. Sorry, just a quick comment on the there. We just have one of our guys watching the stream at the moment. Chris James just sent evening. So evening, Chris. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it.
Indeed. Good evening. Right, we all get a little press of time, guys. So I'm going to push this on slightly. So moving on from Force Friday. Moving on from the Black Series, we also have the new Lightsaber Toys, where you can record a sound effect and play it when they contact. Oh, Dave, I think you got a picture of this for us.
I actually don't have a picture of the lightsabers, but I do have what I think will be a great toy at Christmas when you start recording swear words into them and smashing them together. Nothing says Christmas more than the C word over a clashing lightsaber.
Wilhelm scream. Just record the Wilhelm scream into it over and over again.
I don't think this was thought through. I thought, the kids are going to love this, but all the perverted people are going to have a lot of fun with this. There's going to be a lot of noises, like not even like perverted people. You're going to see like audio memes and everything. I can't wait for the internet to react to this.
It's not.
Dave's mind went straight to the swear. I'm trying to be innocent here, Dave. Like, no, this is just pure filth. This is going to be
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I'd do. So when my lightsaber clashes with another one, you get the worst expletives in the world coming out, and that's just how I roll.
Your wife will hate you for teaching your son this way.
Well, it's fine. He loves Star Wars.
Cross that bridge when you come to it. It's fine. Next bit we're going to talk about is the 3.75-inch gold figures. I don't know. Do we have any?
Oh, we have an image of the. These are awful.
Yeah, I saw this. I was there like, this could be really good if it's done properly. And then I saw the photos there, like, dear Lord. What? It reminds me, I as a kid, used to get Pringles, and you'd get like golden episode 1 heads on the top. It was like more.
Yes.
I was thinking, this is going to be pretty neat. This is going to be like a tie back. This is the sort of commemorative saga thing. And then I saw these, I was like, Christ almighty. Like, if you thought the chrome pops were bad, then these are on their level.
They're not nice.
Hands that just look off, especially with the right one, the way it's positioned, just no.
It just looks like, you would think gold, they're going to go with a proper metallic gold, but they've gone with the dullest gold they could find, which makes them they just don't look good. And it's really unfortunate. They probably could have been nice as collector's things, but not for me at all.
What was great with the titanium figures a couple of years ago, the 7.5s, and I didn't get any. I wish I had. They were hard to get, but that's the kind of thing that I would respect. If they did that today, if they did one set per trilogy, obviously they've already done episode 4, I guess, and they did do episode 7. But in that respect of something like that, which could take you through the franchise, I think would be really cool. And I'm sure over the next year, 2 years, there's going to be a lot of collector's merchandise Skywalker saga. So I'm intrigued to see what they're going to milk with that.
They had the opportunity here to do something great, and they didn't. It's disappointing to me. I looked at the schedule, thought, that seems really cool, and then I've just seen like, you know what? No, I can't. So next bit we've got is Pops Wave 1. It's leaked, not including the exclusives. Might as well put them on the screen now. It's how we know the name of the Whisper as well. So BB-8, I'm intrigued to see why he's now got one black ring.
To sell money.
Most likely. Sith Jet Trooper's a new one. You got the first order Jet Trooper. We already knew about the Sith Jet Trooper. Ugh, that's a mouthful. It's interesting. Zori Bliss, kind of cool to see some form of artwork from it. The rest of it,
Kylo Ren looks great, and I'm not saying that because I
Yeah.
say that about him every time he's on a bit of merchandise.
Oh no, Kylo Ren looks great. Yeah,
Visually, he is without doubt. With those were the pictures. The design on that pop is one of the best designs pop I've done for a long time.
Agreed.
As a character, to me, he's developing into the best character in the entire saga, all 11 films. We'll know that in December. But seeing all this merch, like looking at Dio, what's the point, man? It's £10. It's not. It's like 100 grams, if that. There's more plastic in the base than in the figure. But you've got a couple of vehicles, the First Order Tread Speeder, we've got the Careless Whisper sitting on top of it. Even though in the last film we basically had the exact same figure with him sitting on top of his own vehicle. I just pop.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my differences of pop. Dave, I know you've had a fatal issue this week of your pops; they all collapsed.
Oh yeah.
But to me, they did a really nice set for episode 6, and it wasn't even an anniversary. It was like, here's a wave just for Return of the Jedi. I thought that's really cool, and then they ruined it with like 30 chrome pops like the week after that completely kill it.
The chrome pops is an annoyance of mine as well. I think I get they wanted to release something nice for Celebration if they'd kept it at that, and then with just the Celebration, but then to release a different color of chrome, like they've done with Thanos, I think, for the
6 Thanos movie, like
different places. I just would prefer more figures of, like you say, a Return of the Jedi line, an Empire line, Force Awakens line, a Phantom Menace line, just keeping it really nice and neat like that. But I will probably have a look at these pops, and I certainly will pick up Kylo Ren. I think you are right in terms of him becoming one of the best characters in Star Wars, but also that is definitely one of the best looking pops I've seen in a long, long time.
It might be a pop I actually buy, which is surprising for those of you who know me. I don't buy pops generally. I win them at X-Wing events, or people give them to me. I don't go out of my way to find them, buy them. I like them, but don't adore them to the same extent that Dave does or George used to do. We all know of George's problem in the past, and Dave's
that shelf is like gone pretty much. Look at that. No pops if anyone's looking visually. But that used to be ran like 2 rows back.
It really did.
And I said every time I bought some, I was like, oh no, I've got to go for the numbers to get the OCD right. Those days are long gone now.
Indeed. And then the last bit we look at is the new vintage collection leaks, which is Poe in X-Wing from episode 9, Rey, Poe, and Knight of Ren. Do we have any of this? Yes, here we go. Zori Bliss
as well.
Absolutely wicked. The Sith Jet Trooper I want. The Luke I will buy. To be fair, I'm not going to lie, I adore the vintage collection. I haven't been able to get a lot of it, but these are ones I will buy for sure.
I loved the vintage collection until they milked it. I did sell all mine.
Yeah, but you didn't sell them to me, damn it, and I asked them for you.
Well, because I sold it as a bundle because no one wanted the ones that everyone had. They wanted the rarer ones. You have to make sacrifices. My issue with the vintage collection was when it was brought back, 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, it's coming back. It's going to be 4 waves a year. It's going to be manageable. It's going to be great. It's going to be the new era of films that are buzzing. Wave 1, this is quality. Oh, why is there a Hoth Trooper? Why is the Hoth Trooper selling for more than all the other stuff? Wave 2, more episode modern stuff. Then wave, I swear, 3 and 4 were all just original trilogy film characters, which is fine. However, your 4 waves a year went to about 8 or 9 waves a year, went to 3 or 4 vehicles a year. And for someone that's not even I don't even want to collect it because I know I am a collector. I know I sell a lot of things. As in when I'm bored of them, don't want them and whatnot. But I think the issue I have is that when they just take the mick in releasing them, that's why I've always got respect for Hot Toys. I know they're obviously far more expensive to make, produce, and sell. You ain't going to see them doing 8 Kylo Rens across 3 years. They've just done 1 per film. And that's the easiest way of doing it. And yes, they're more expensive, but it reaches a point where, is it worth the collecting? There are some things that, obviously everyone on here knows that I'm also never to go for sort of the autographs. Dave, your sort of Pop and Black series, Phil's more comics, X-Wing. Why am I pointing at the wrong people? I don't know. It's that weird mirror thing on StreamYard. But, it's very interesting that I'm just very intrigued to see how all this Force Rise pans out for 9, because I think it is going to have quite a big launch. I don't think it'll be as big as 7. No, it will.
No way.
I think it will be a lot bigger than 8, which is I've got credit for it, and I'm excited to see what they've got on their shelves, and I'm excited to see where is going to be selling it because, like I said, over here in England, 2 years ago you had I'd say 2 big toy chain store companies, like 3 chains of collector stores, plus like supermarkets selling the really random things. This year seems a lot more streamlined. I'm going to aim to go to Forbidden Planet. If they don't have it on a release day, not only will I be severely disappointed, because I know they got messed over for the episode 8 launch, I'm thinking how on earth I'm meant to get anything for the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what happens. But again, this is something where I definitely feel that they're focusing on America more so than everywhere else with the launch of these. Sorry.
Indeed. And that is, of course, it is for news, but we're going to basically continue on with the pseudo toy shelf into the actual toy shelf with the other announcement we have, which is the convention exclusive Black Series Luke set from Skywalker Strikes, which is the very first issues they did for the Star Wars comic that main series, which will be ending in December of this year. So the artwork for the front is the artwork from issue 1 of that series, which I have graded. The inside, of course, is Luke with his gold jacket from the medal ceremony, and you got a few kind of cool accessories. You've got the book from Obi-Wan, you've got the training droid, Luke's lightsaber, the blaster, kind of it, and you got the helmet with the blast shield. It's a really cool set. It'll probably retail, I reckon, for about £40 because the Sith Trooper was 40 quid, Rex was 40 quid again with those accessories. So I reckon it'll be around about that price point, and I think it does look really cool. It's supposed to go on sale at Germany Comic Con and then maybe MCM London. It's a full con exclusive for this year. I reckon we'll see more of it later in the year. Yeah, I just think it's fantastic. I absolutely love it.
It's actually a really good looking Luke figure. I like these things when they come with a few more accessories. I like the style of the box in the comic style. And it's for someone like Phil, this is obviously a must-have figure, I'm guessing, because it will go alongside.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a must-have for the collection, yeah.
Yeah, so I completely get it. I think it's a really good-looking figure. I think now they've got the digital paint. These figures are going to look better and better as they come out of the releases. And I do like when they come with a few more accessories than they do with just a lightsaber or a blaster. So, no, it's a really nice-looking figure.
It's a nice one. I think with this, it's... Hasbro do keep saying we're going to do better for Europe, whatnot. This is expected to go on sale at MCM London, but Hasbro have always said we're not going to be there. We're just going to give supplies to people that we stock. So I'm excited for this, but it's nice to see. I know we had Dr. Aphra do the comics, but this sort of nice collection box, it really suits the comic vibe. I don't know because it opens out like a book, but
yeah.
It's quite neat, and obviously for people that don't read the comics, I know that Dr. Aphra's like a very sort of niche character. You kind of got to be in the know. I know. I feel that not to collectors, but people that know Star Wars but don't know comics would be like, "Who's that? We're not going to buy that." Whereas this Luke very much feels that, "Oh, look how great this Luke figure is." Opens, "Oh, this is a comic." "Oh, look what happens here." Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this figure does because I think it looks great.
Indeed. And of course, we're going to move on to our very last piece of news this evening, which is to our games, because there's nothing for Star Wars this week. We had the Battlefront 2 update today, which is Felucia and the Clone Commandos, which I love the look of the Commandos, but George, I'm going to let you kind of have the free rein on this particular piece, on our last piece of news.
Yes, so the update came out today. I've downloaded it. I've not played it because I've the new FIFA, far more funner. Felucia's been released. From the footage I've seen, it looks great. Clone Commando class is out. They've added instant action. There's a lot more offline stuff. There's online co-op now added in. This feels like not the last big update, but this feels like this is the big update. Then we're going to get the episode 9 update, and then who knows what the future holds. So It's very interesting to see what happens with this, but I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to play this. I did go on Battlefront for the first time in a couple of weeks the weekend, and they turned off lightsaber heroes from Heroes v Villains for a weekend, and it was awful because you want to be a lightsaber person. You don't want blasters versus blasters because whoever shoots the quickest the most wins. They didn't think that through. It was a good idea. It didn't really work. But no, it's interesting. Again, who'd have thought 2 years ago that Battlefront 2 still has life?
That, I think, is the main story. The main take home is that there is still playability in this game. And I think you're right. I think Episode 9 will be the wind down of Battlefront 2. That content will probably be the final release, I would have thought, myself anyway, that we'll put this out. This will be the round of this game. We're finishing the Skywalker Saga. Battlefront 2 can end with it. Move on to something new after that.
Yeah, Celebration next year for me will see the release or the announcement of Battlefront 3 coming in December 2020.
And look, let's not lie. We're all putting Battlefront 2 down the minute Lego Star Wars comes out.
Yeah.
Well,
I
would
like
if
Star
had
Wars is
slightly
going to
later
put
plan.
down a lot of games.
No, if I had something to play on, I would, but I cannot, sadly. Sorry, George.
I was just going to talk about how great Lego Star Wars is, but we've had this discussion soon.
We're all
Oh, yeah.
very excited about it.
Fingers crossed we get a trailer soon. Imagine that you go to the cinema to watch episode 9 and there's a Lego Star Wars trailer attached before it.
Oh, that'd be just
That would be perfect. That's what I
Mint.
expect as well.
It would be.
Can't wait.
Good
I can't wait.
indeed. Anyway, gentlemen, that is all we have time for this evening. Any closing remarks or thoughts before we sign off?
Just again, a big thank you to, again, I'm going to just say a big thank you to yakface.com for their images that they've been getting and I grabbed for this show. And a few I've grabbed, I do apologize, I've grabbed them from Instagram accounts, things like that. I know it's wrong to not thank people for doing that, but I did just grab them before we came on air. So I've got those. So, but yakface.com, rebelscum.com, places really great for images, especially if you want some of the spoiler stuff that's coming out from yakface.com. And really to everyone who's watched the live stream tonight, who's been along for the ride, thank you very much for joining us and watching it. It does mean the world for us to have people actually watching the live shows along with us.
Indeed, George.
This is my last episode for a couple of weeks. Don't really, that's not leaving. As I mentioned, I'm going to be at the London Film Festival. 2 weeks tonight will be one of the last nights there. And I will miss our list video on the Sunday the 6th. However, folks, there may be a post from me on Sunday the 6th, dependent on how the event goes. Nothing more than that, but there's a reason I keep flaunting this photo of Adam Driver. So I've got fingers crossed for a very interesting weekend. A lot of Star Wars people there, but I'm not there for Star Wars. And Force Friday. We'll be back after Force Friday. We'll know what's happening, but do keep us on social media as we'll be covering as much as we can.
Indeed, indeed. So, as always, I have to say thank you very much for joining and watching along. Those of you who have been watching on YouTube, thank you very much. You can find the video back there later on. For those of you who are on audio, you can find us at iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Podbean. You can find the awesome t-shirts and any other merchandise in the Teespring link in the video down below. We've been Ones of the Force. May the Force be with you. Good night.